So my last video about Zen Quadro got a lot of attention from a lot of you guys, defending the product, how amazing it is. And that was never my own idea about the product rather. I never said it was not amazing. I never said it was a bad product. I just said there was a misleading advertisement about the product being standalone. And standalone in my terms, or anybody that does live stuff, either live stream, live performances on stage, means you have access to whatever parameters that controls your sound. And this does not have that on board. So in my definition, it's just like any other interface with a great software. I could just be using Waves plugins from my DAW to my live stream. So the whole purpose of this gets betrayed if I cannot control those parameters from here. And the reason I got it back, I have two reasons for doing that. Number two, I want to give it a second chance to see if recalling those presets like this was designed to do will make a lot of difference. And two, see if I can have different variation of presets saved on this device. That way, if one doesn't work, I can try another one, have different variation. And we'll see how that workflow works. So one of the unique selling features of this device is its ability to take power from anywhere. Right now, it's just plugged to a USB power supply. Nothing special, just a regular phone charger, about 2 amps, and it's powering up. So I think one of the reasons why a few people kind of feel some kind of way about my first review or initial reaction to this particular device was because I only pointed out the things that I did not like. And even though I returned the old unit that I got another one. And I've still not decided if I'm going to keep this, but I intend using this for at least 20 days. It's going to be my major audio interface for the next 20 days. So let's see how that works out. I'm going to be as unbiased as possible as I can possibly be, as unfiltered as possible, as fair as I can be to this device. That might be hard, but I will definitely try to be fair. So just top here, the feature that they had that I did not really like is this loading preset, which is what I mentioned in my older video. You can load preset 1, 2, 3, or how many ever, up to 5. And what this does is I have this microphone here. This is an SM57, very popular microphone. I just have this pop filter here from Amazon. I will leave a link in the description. It just makes it usable for vocals. And what I have here set up on the application, on the console app that it comes with, I loaded a preamp, a noise gate, and a compressor. And what this does, while you have that connected to your computer, it saves that on your device. So you can save it as a preset. So every time you record it, you're going to have that effect chain, which is amazing. And that's what they mean by standalone. What my complaint was the ability to control that and make changes to that on device without needing to connect your laptop. And that just was not there. So today I'm going to be going over the few things that I like here on this device. One of that being the old build quality, the design, the compact 2 headphones out on the front, to combo jack on the front here, which could be a TRS or an XLR cable, which is pretty neat. 2 headphone amp on the front, which is amazing and could, power any demanding headphone that you have in your setup. In my case, I have the Neumann NDH20s, and this powered them with no problem. This is a gain hungry microphone as well, the 57, to be able to use it as my voiceover, which you will hear in a minute. That worked flawlessly as well, which is amazing if you ask me. I just feel more can be done to this. You can adjust input gain, either your mic preamp gain or all the preamps here. You have 4 in total. You can adjust it on here. You can also adjust the headphone volume, headphone 1 or headphone 2. You can adjust the volume however you choose. and this Antelope button takes you about 2 minutes. So it's pretty minimalistic setup, and it works. It does what it does, and it does it really well. And I don't have any problem with that. My only problem is the real-time processing. I want to be able to tweak my compression settings, my EQs, and all that stuff on this screen. If they can do that, then I would love it. So let's go over what this thing actually has on the software side. I actually got a few nasty comments about how I did not read the manual and I just came on YouTube and made videos. I just believe those guys have no idea what they're talking about, and they need to get their edits out of wherever they kept them, because this device does what it does well. I understand my last video was kind of focused on the things that I don't like about it and how the advertisement of the device was misleading, but overall, I wasn't saying it's a terrible device. I'm just saying it could be better. And I wasn't comparing it to my MT48. I'm just saying the options that I have on my MT48 are way different and more usable for what I use it for. And this just doesn't do that for me. But right now, let's deep dive into what the software actually does and what you can actually achieve with this if you're considering it. So this video is going to be more about what this does, how it does it, and maybe you work for your own use scenario. So let's go.
Open up the application. Sorry for the reverb, because I'm actually using the audio preset that I had set here just to see how I pull that up. So let me see if I can change that preset on the device itself. Load preset 1, cancel playback. So I would not be able to do that. So the first thing you want to do is open this Antelope Synergy Core software, and if you double click on the audio interface, you're gonna have another app open up, which is kind of like the console app, which controls everything about the whole audio interface as well by itself. So just wait for that to load. It takes a couple of seconds. Not bad. I must say I do have a MacBook M1 Pro, which is fast, so that software just takes forever to load. So what I have here is the old console, and this is what the application is all about. First thing, I want to go to the RVAB and kind of turn down the reverb. Now, no more reverb on here. I'm not sure if I'll be using this audio here, but I can turn that up. So what it is I have this mic preamp set up for my input one, which is my 57 microphone that you can see from the screen here. And what I've done is I've created some sort of chain, which is awesome, pretty neat and pretty clean. And what you're recalling is whatever you set here, you can save a preset on device, not here on the console app on your laptop, but you're gonna set everything that you want right here on the computer, and then just go to your audio interface, press and hold the HP monitor button, and then save preset, and you can save it to any of the 5 slots that you already have, which to me is a really neat approach to this. It's great. I love it. And this is some of this free effects that ships with it. This is some sort of preamp. I have 2 of them here. I'm not sure what I do. I have an EQ here. I also have this diode, which is kind of like a noise gate. So you can pretty much go crazy and go bananas. And my point in my last video explaining that you don't really get a lot of software for free, and how the device is not really $6.99, because you still have to see all these grayed out things here. These are the bread and butter of this device, and you're gonna pay. You're gonna come off pocket. Some of the softwares are $25 each. You can go for the bundle, which is like $300, or the premium bundle, which is like almost $400. If you had that together, you're going to around over $8,000. So that's my point about the price. But then it's still fair. You can still work with the free softwares, or free plugins rather, that actually shipped with this. They're still very usable and very they do a thing, and they do it well. So this is my voiceover setup that you're hearing the audio from the audio interface. I'm gonna switch between that and my camera audio as well. But overall, the preamp sounds really good. I can remove all the effects here. Now you're just hearing the natural preamp from the microphone. There's no processing here. There's no compression. You're just hearing what comes to the what comes to the audio interface from the microphone, and I can kind of play around here and just kind of put like vintage compressor. Or should I start with a preamp? Okay, let's do vintage mic preamp. See, you have like just two here that are usable. So drop the gain down a little bit, increase the output. Low cut, high low cuts. That takes away my. Oh, okay. So I can have low cut or high cut. So roll out like the low end here, which is kind of cool. I can switch the facing, which kind of sounds cool. I like the old interface, the old GUI. It's pretty inviting. And after that preamp, I'm gonna see if I can add a compressor here. The best compressor here are actually now free, so I'm just gonna let's do the FET 76. All right, so this is like a 76 FET type compressor. I can I like to drop down my release a little bit and look for a slower attack and just drop my output a little bit. So now I have the compressor live, and what I can do is go on the device itself and just press and hold. Let me see if I can move the camera here. Press and hold this button, middle button here, and save preset. And I can just select one of the 5 presets. So let me save this to number 4, and I can always recall that at any point in time, whenever I desire, whenever I want to use this setup, this effects chain, I can pull it up. It doesn't matter. I can have an auto tune there if I purchase that plugin, and it will always come back to me at any point in time, which is kind of cool. It's pretty neat. And like all that processing is happening on the device, not putting a lot of load into my audio interface. Into my computer rather, all the process is happening on their audio interface, which is really cool and pretty neat. So that's one thing I'll give to these guys. I also like the simplicity of the old setup. It's pretty easy to understand compared to Universal Audio Console. And one thing I like about this software as well, you can control all your outputs. I can have a different output going to different headphones here. As you can see in the bottom here, I can have headphone 2. I can have a different setup. I can decide to mute my mic on that headphone and not have my mic on that headphone, and just have another microphone going into that headphone. So you can have like an artist mix, which is kind of pretty neat. That's a cool setup. And you can have your USB device playing. You have USB 1 play, USB 2 play. So you can have different audio settings for your out, because you have 2 USB outs, which is cool. And you also have your ADAT in, and you can control the gain and all that good stuff. So you can add extra 8 input to this one. For the price, I think that's pretty neat. Like that's a winner for me right there. So you can track drums with it, expand this with like $200 ADAT from Behringer that I have with a Midas preamp. It's not the best, but it does the job. I've recorded drums through that, so you can mic up your drums, mic up a bass and guitar, and just use all that processing here as well. Oh, you do not have processing on the ADAT in. Sorry, you can only have processing on the 4 preamp that comes directly with this. So that's one thing you need to note as well. One amazing thing about this, the routing is pretty simple. Like, I didn't have to really use a manual to figure out how to use the software. I'm not talking to you, the other guy that says I don't use a manual. Not you guy. I actually do use a manual. I'm just saying this is very simple to use and very simple to understand. You don't need to be a super console user or a super techie person to actually get good use out of this out of the software. It's pretty intuitive, easy to use, straight to the point, no BS whatsoever. Just looking at it, you know what is what, number one. And you can select here if it's an IZ guitar input or it's a line input or a microphone. In this case, it's a microphone input. Let me change the line. So now it cuts my audio off a little bit, and I can bring it back to the microphone. And I have all my setup here. And the cool thing about this is I can actually have my guitar here on preamp 2 and just say, okay, preamp 2 is going to be an IZ input. Just plug in my guitar into that place and see. It actually has some presets here. Oh, all right. So I can say, okay, rock 2, and it's going to load a guitar and a amp cabinet for me. If that processing is just happening from this by itself, it's not gonna use any DSP power from my computer. It's just gonna be this input, which is kind of neat. So since I'm using the number 2 here, where's my output? Okay, headphones 1. Just turn this up, and I shall have guitar. Yes, I do. Let me mute this one here. Loop back. Loop back. Whoa, that is pretty neat. That is really neat. That is pretty really cool. I like how that sounded. And that's just loading the default preset there without any any tweaking on my end. I think it's a winner for that alone. Just pull my guitar there safely. So I could see myself using this actually. I'm not taking back what I said about it not being able to tweak it, but if I can just plug my guitar in here, put my headphones, and just be able to practice on the road with this with no extra. I mean, I already have like a pod expert to do that for me, but it's kind of cool to have all that in one package, which I understand what they're trying to sell, or the kind of people that gearing these towards, right? So yeah. So yeah, overall, this is pretty neat. I like the whole idea of it that I can actually use my guitar and play my guitar without anything, um, without having to have another device connected. No pedal. I just have the amp and settings here, guitar and cabinet settings. I can add some reverb and some other effects here. I can have modulation. I can have a chorus. I can have all that good stuff there. Oh, it's still demo. I gotta pay for that. This is actually a really good setup. So now I have a setup that I can actually use live on stage. I mean, anywhere. Like a small performance, I could actually rock this with my preamp set up here. Have a compressor, and my microphone actually sounds great. Like what you're hearing is what this is producing right here, and I can bypass that so you can hear the clean setup here. Bypass, bypass, and then you can hear anything anymore. It's just the thing you're hearing. I can put it back in, and yeah. Okay, so I can bypass all the effects, and then all you're hearing now is just the microphone by itself. And I can enable my plugins again, and they are good to go. Now you can hear my. Let me know if it makes any difference with the compression. I already like the compression. I can move the mic away and still get a reasonable level, and still yell into it and not clip. And that's cool. I really like that. And I can also have my guitar pot here, where I can plug my guitar in and play. So this is just a default preset here, and it looks pretty neat. Just by maybe here. This is pretty neat. Like I like this vibe already. Like it's really cool. Like I like it. I'll rock with these at any point in time. You know what? Let me switch to the SM7B here. From here to SM7B. Okay, now you're hearing the SM7B through that. It's a little bit quieter, so I might just want to push the gain a little bit on that. Let's go to the preamp setup here. All right, just kind of put the gain up a little bit, but then let's see, push it up, output it up a little bit. But then I already have a compressor right in front of that, so that might increase my output here with compression. That sounds good. And with my guitar, And that sounds great. Like with no like nothing is happening from my there's nothing happening from my laptop here. This is all on device, which is great. So I can just set up like a preset for both my guitar and my voice, and I can literally record a guitar course through this. I can see. So yeah, like there's no latency here. Like it's minimal. Like you can't even notice it except your oh, you have a tuner here. All right, let's see what I can add here. Guitar cabinet. All right, any effects here that I can work with? Modulation. All right, let's put a chorus here. Oh, okay. So the chorus is in my voice. So that's my mistake here. Let me just remove that. Okay, let's go back to the guitar channel. All right, so I have amp cabinet modulation. Let's add chorus to my guitar. That sounds good. That sounds neat. I like that. And that's also demo, so you don't get a full setup. So let's look for a modulation. There is not a demo one. Let's see BBD chorus. Ooh, okay. Not bad in my opinion. Sounds really good. So let me save these on the save preset. Let me save it to preset number 5. And let's say I don't have my computer here. I can just go back to the audio interface and just recall this preset. And let's do that right now. Let me disconnect my laptop. So what you can see here is just my audio interface. Just power. So the audio that you're hearing now is coming straight from. Apologies for the guitar noise. The audio is coming straight from my audio interface into my camera. So no processing whatsoever. So let's go to my presets recall here. Press and hold this middle button. Go to presets. Load presets. Preset 5. Load it. Recalled everything I needed. And you already hear my guitar. It sounds great. And I can take that one step further and just load a different preset without my guitar input in it. Let's see if that makes any sense. Press and hold. Load preset. Preset 2 just has a microphone and no guitar in. So let's look. Now, no more guitar. Because I didn't set an amp preset for that preset, which is pretty neat. So I can have. Now let's load preset again. Let's load preset 5 back up. You should hear my guitar with the chorus. This is pretty neat. I really like this. Yeah, that's pretty neat in my opinion, though. I really like the vibe of this, and I'll rock with this at any point in time. So here we go. There you have it. So in conclusion, this is a good unit and it does what it does and it does it well. It might not work for your own scenario if you want to tweak stuff live like I want to. I want to be able to tweak my amp settings, my compression settings, my microphone setup, my effects chain. I want to be able to move things around on the go. But that is not possible without a laptop, which I totally understand. It will be nice to have all that feature here to be able to move that. But the fact that all this functionality all those DSP effects, all those plugins can be available natively without you taking your laptop. Just imagine yourself with a phone setup. Just connect this to your phone, and then you can live stream with a compressor and a noise gate and an amp simulator and all that good stuff without a laptop. I think that's pretty neat, and with the most minimal power consumption. The power consumption of this thing is amazing. It doesn't take that much power. I've powered it with the smallest brick that I have here. I've powered it with a power bank. It just starts up and it runs well, which is pretty cool for scenarios like this. So Zen Quadro. This has found a place in my studio now. I still will not depend on this in the live settings, which was my reason for returning it the first time. And this time, I think it will be useful for my at-home streaming. I do have a lot of analog gear that I can process. Like right now, you're hearing this microphone through a preamp and a compression. Yeah, I have hardware doing live processing to these going straight to my camera. But there are sometimes you just want a lighter setup. You know, you're outside, you just have a preset that works, and you just want to record it. I think this will work perfectly in that scenario. So for all the guys that came for me because of my first review, I still stand by what my review is. If you're performing live, you need to be able to tweak stuff. I'm a guitar player, and I still have myself, going to my pedal. But when I get to a different venue, I want to tweak a little bit. Maybe the room has more reverbs than I planned for. I just want to adjust my settings, adjust my pre-delay, adjust my decay a little bit, just to make sure I fit into that particular place. And that's the mindset that I brought when I was purchasing this as something that you can do. You can have your DSP running natively without a computer. I want to be able to adjust stuff, and that just didn't work for my own use scenario. But it doesn't mean the device is useless or it's not worth it. It's worth every penny. But then the price goes up the more of those plugins that you want. So it's still not really a $600 stuff. So budget wise, so over 10, I will give this a 6 over 10. Just because it's not really that cheap as advertised. It's $600, but by the time you factor in the plugins and all that good stuff, you're getting close to $1,000 mark. And for $1,000, there's so many options in that range as well. But then it does it well. It does what it does. That ability to recall preset is amazing. It's good. I think you can have different variation of the same preset just to fit different things once you get familiar with this product, and I think that's a good thing. And another thing I want to give to it, it's the LED screen. It's kind of really small, maybe because I have the Neumann one. It's kind of small, and then it's not touch screen. You kind of limited to these 3 buttons. I wish it was bigger and to do more. Other than those 2 things, I have no problem. The conversions here are great. It has more than enough juice to carry a microphone like this without a cloud lifter. That's something. And you can add preamps to it. You can push it up, add some noise gate, and mess around with these as much as you want. Yeah, I hope I've been able to kind of have a non-biased opinion about this device. So if you don't mind the fact that you can tweak your settings, if you're a set it forget it kind of guy, get this. This will work in a live setup. It will work like I'm traveling this week, and if I'm recording a podcast on the go, I'm recording something I don't want to use my laptop, or I'm at the airport, I want to quickly pull up stuff without taking too much space. This is a perfect setup. Combine this with a phone that can record, just send the output to your phone through USB-C and just record straight. Like you can record a podcast episode with all your dynamic processing here and straight to that iPhone and have high quality studio. Like this is a studio in a box. So yeah, it's a good device if you want to go that route. And I think I will be keeping this. It's not going back. Thank you for watching. My name is Dami. I'm a sound engineer, guitar player, and everything in between. I'll catch you in the next one. If you like reviews like this, let me know. And let me know in the comments below if you think this is something that will work for you, or how are you using your audio interface and getting the best out of it. Let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.